welcome to the virtual kickoff for Calvert Reads 2020. I'm Miss Sandy from Calvert Library, and I'm here with my friends, Miss Annalise and Miss Amelia. We're going to tell you all about all of the wonderful things that are happening this summer with Calvert Library. So we wanted to do this in person, and we usually do, but unfortunately, we couldn't do that this year. So we're all in our houses, and we're going to talk to you through Crowdcast. You could be watching us on Crowdcast right now, or maybe you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, but we're recorded right now, so you can't talk to us. This is a recording, but the chat is live. So if you go down to the bottom corner of your screen, if you're on Crowdcast, there's a little chat right there. So if you have a question for us, or if you'd just like to say hello and check in, we'd love to hear from you. You can also do that on Facebook too. Go on Facebook and write a little message to us. We've got people monitoring that as well. So come on in and join us.
So yeah, I am so excited for the summer reading challenge this year because things are going to be a little different than they've been in the past. And remember, the first thing you have to do is sign up. And if you're watching on Crowdcast, right below us, there's a link that'll take you to that sign up page. And if you're not watching on Crowdcast, it's so easy. You just go to our website. It's calvertlibrary.info. And right on that front page, there'll be a way for you to sign up. You can log your minutes online. You can log your minutes on the app, lots of fun ways. But I gave it away. That's the big change. We're going from logging books to logging minutes this summer. And yeah, we are going to try to read 1 million minutes. And that sounds like a lot, but I know that we have a lot of strong readers in our community. So I think we can do it.
Have you guys already signed up for summer reading?
I'm all signed up.
Excellent. Just in case you haven't, like Miss Annalise said, you can go over to the library website with the link at the bottom of the page. If you've already participated in summer reading past, or maybe you did the winter challenge with us one year, you can sign in with your old login information. You don't even have to make a new account. If you can't remember it, don't worry. There's a forgot password link. And if that doesn't work for you, there are librarians standing by to help right now. Give us a call at 410-535-0291 and we'll answer the phone and we'll help you get logged in and signed up.
Fabulous. You know, we're logging minutes, that's new, but we also have activities that we're doing this summer too. So activities for the whole family, things that you can do online, things that you can do in your house, lots of really fun challenges. And you earn tickets for those challenges and for logging your reading. And those tickets are going to help you to try to win really, really cool prizes. We're going to talk more about that later on in our show.
We're going to go over signing up one more time, and this time we're actually going to bring in a friend. Our friend Miss Julia is here to show you how to sign up for Calvert Reads.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia with Calvert Library. Welcome to Can Do Digital. Today I'm going to show you how to register for our Calvert Reads Summer Challenge through Beanstack, which is going to run from June 20th until August 22nd. This summer, our goal is for Calvert County to read and log 1 million minutes. And the more minutes you log, the more chances you have of winning prizes throughout the summer. So let me go ahead and show you how to get registered. The first step for getting registered is to go to Calvert Library's website, which is calvertlibrary.info. And there are two options for getting to the registration page. So at the top here, you can see our sliders. I can scroll through. I'm going to press this arrow on the right to get to Calvert Reads. And here it is. Our theme is Imagine Your Story. And so I can press on Register Today, or I can also scroll down to our tiles here. And my option is this one on the far left, Calvert Reads Summer 2020. And now I'm going to scroll down a little bit and select Register an Individual or Family. And then I have two options. I can click on I am registering myself, or I am an adult registering a child, so you can register a child on their behalf. And the great option about that is that you can add as many readers to your account as you want, and that way you only have one login for multiple readers, so that's a nice option. Today I am just going to register myself, but I do have the option to add readers later. So I'm going to click on this, and this takes me to my information page, so I'm going to put in my information. And how did you hear about Calvert Reads? Well, I saw it posted on social media, so I'm going to choose I saw it on Calvert Library social media. And then my last option is, would you also like to receive book recommendations? And I would. So if you want to receive book recommendations, you would click in this little box here, yes, send me recommendations, and then hit next. Okay, and now I am registered. So I have earned a badge just for registering, and I got 1 ticket for that registration, which we will talk about later. There are more badges and you can earn more tickets, but I'm going to close this box for now. And it asked me, would you like to add another adult? Well, not today. I'm not going to add another adult, so I'm going to hit no. Would you like to add a child? So if you wanted to add a child or an adult, you would hit yes and fill in the information for that individual. Today, I am not going to do that, but I can always go back later and add more readers. All right, I'm all set up. I'm going to hit continue. And to get to my challenge, I'm going to go down here to Calvert Reads 2020 and click on Return to this challenge. And now I am on my homepage of my account. So I am ready to log my minutes. And the way I do that is go up to the upper left-hand corner of my screen and click on Log Reading and Activities. And there's minutes, so I'm going to click on minutes. And you can see at the top here we have a calendar. So my minutes will automatically be logged for today, which is June 5th. But if you want to log for a different day, you can do that. So let's say that I did some reading on June 3rd. I would click on June 3rd and log for that date. And to log my minutes, I'm going to scroll down and click in the box under time spent reading. And I read for an hour, so I'm going to put in 1H. And there it is, there's my 1 hour. You can also put in the title and author of the book that you read, but you don't have to. And you can also write a review if you would like, but you don't have to. I have it set to no. If you wanted to write a review, you would hit this down arrow and hit yes. But I'm going to stay with no. And I'm ready to log my minutes, so I'm going to hit log. And all right, my minutes are logged. Now I'm ready to get back to my home page, so I'm going to scroll back up. And you can either hit this X in the right-hand corner up here, or hit the back arrow. I'm going to hit my X. And here's my home page. Something you'll see here are these gray tabs. These are where you can find your badges and tickets. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. I'm going to click on the challenge badges. And I can see that so far I have earned my registration badge right here. And in the future, I will earn my complete challenge badge. And our next tab is the logging badges. This is where you earn badges for logging your reading. And for each badge, you receive 1 ticket. So you get a ticket for every 20 minutes that you read. So here's the 1 badge you would get for logging 20 minutes. And then it goes up. So then I would get a badge for doing 40 minutes. And then our next tab shows activity badges. For each activity badge, you will receive 2 tickets. And you can choose different categories. Let's say I want to choose the Art in Residence category. So if I scroll down, I can see the different activities that I can complete. And you only need to do 2 activities to receive a badge. So let's say I did create a self-portrait in the style of your favorite artist. I would mark in this little box. And I also created a diorama inspired by my favorite story or place to visit. So then I would check mark this box. So for doing those 2 activities, I will get a badge and 2 tickets. I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this little screen. And my next tab is the review badges. You can receive badges for writing reviews. So the first one is for 1 review. Next one is if you complete 3 reviews, and then it goes up from there. My next tab shows me all of the badges that I have earned. So far, I just have 1 badge for registering, right there. And then my next tab is the ticket drawings tab. Here is the really fun part. I get to see all of the tickets that I have earned, which will show up right here at the top. You can see so far I only have 1 ticket. But now I can use that ticket to go into a drawing. So we have different prize drawings throughout the summer. It starts July 4th and goes through August 22nd. You can see with each prize that it will show you the date that the drawing closes. And let me show you all the prizes we have. There are lots to look at. Bubble Party, Amazon Fire. So you can look through all of these prizes and try to decide where you want to put your ticket. So you divide them up the way that you want to. So let me see. I saw one towards the bottom that I wanted to try for. Let's take a look. I really want the aquarium prize. I love the aquarium. So this drawing closes August 22nd. So you would need to get your tickets in by midnight on that date. And I want to enter my ticket. So the way I do that is hit Add Tickets. And then I will hit the plus sign to add however many tickets I want. So I will add my ticket and then click Enter 1 ticket. And now I am in for that prize. Now you can take away tickets too. If you decide, I don't want that prize. I want to try for something else. You can now hit Subtract Tickets and hit the minus sign to take out however many you want, and then hit Enter 0. And now I have my ticket back to put it where I want. And that's it. So now I am going to go all the way back up to the top. And I see that I have my ticket back. And we are all done for today. That covers all of the main features that I wanted to show you.
Thank you for joining me today for Can Do Digital. I hope you have fun this summer logging your minutes in Beanstack. Beanstack is also available as an app, so you can download it to your cell phone, iPad, or tablet, whatever device you prefer to use. And please keep an eye on Calvert Library's social media pages for more Can Do Digital videos.
Thanks, Julia. This year, we're encouraging everyone to play in a new way on the Beanstack Tracker app. The app is a little different this year, and since we're trying for 1 million minutes, the app works as a stopwatch, so you can record your minutes as you read. Here's Miss Sandy to explain a little bit more.
Hi everyone, it's Sandy from Calvert Library. I'm here today to talk to you about the Beanstack Tracker app. So if you've participated in a library reading challenge for the past couple of years, you're probably familiar with the platform called Beanstack that we've used to run our programs. And you've probably interacted with it through our website. You've probably gone to calvertlibrary.info and logged into your Beanstack account. And you can still do that. But I have a new way that you can play this year too, and that is through the app. So all you have to do to get started is go to your app store. It's available on Apple and Android devices for free, and download the Beanstack Tracker app. Once you download the Beanstack Tracker app, click Get Started. Does your library already use Beanstack? Yup. Search for Calvert Library. There we are. If you already have a Beanstack account, simply sign in with your email or username and your password and click Sign In. Don't have an account? Sign up. Create an account with a username, enter your email address, and add a password. Add your first and last name, phone number is optional here, but add your zip code. Click Continue. Select the library branch that you visit most often and continue. Now you're all signed up. Fill out your reader profile. Select your age and continue. Add a profile picture if you like. Click Continue. Select your grade level and your school. Not applicable for me. Then click Continue. You've already selected your library. Continue one more time. Register for at least one challenge. And choose if you'd like to get recommendations delivered to your inbox every week from Beanstack. Send recommendations or no thanks. You're ready to go. This summer, Calvert Library is asking everyone to log the number of minutes that you read from June 20th to August 22nd. You can log the books that you're reading, but you can also log magazines, online blogs, audiobooks that you're reading. Everything counts. Add minutes to your reading log at any time by clicking the plus sign in the center bottom of the screen. What would you like to log? Reading. Choose your reader or readers if you're reading together, and click Choose Readers. Here, choose your logging method. You may simply add the number of minutes that you've read by choosing Log a Day, Minutes, or Page Only. What day would you read will be automatically filled in. Change that at any time. And how many minutes did you read? Click Finish, and you're done. Booyah! Your reading has been logged. You may also keep track of the book that you are reading, either by manually entering the title information, search for recently logged titles, manually entering the ISBN, or scanning the ISBN of your book. If you scan the ISBN, the title and author will automatically be added. To track your progress, add the page number of the first page and the last page, and click Save. Alternately, you may turn off Track Your Progress and simply click Save. You may start a reading session from here. Start your reading session and the timer will begin. When you're done reading, click Done. How many pages you read is optional. Click Next. You may select, did you finish the book? Yes or no. Also optional. Then click Finish. Your minutes, booyah, have been automatically added to your log. I'm very excited about using that timer tool, and we hope that you find it useful this summer too. So in addition to participating by logging your minutes, you can also participate by completing activities this summer. And you'll find activities for the whole family on the Tracker app. To complete an activity on the app, click the plus sign in the center bottom of the screen. What would you like to log? Activity. Choose the reader who will be logging the activity and click Choose Reader. All of the available activity badges will open up. Click on one to discover more about it. You'll see a description and all of the activities that can be completed to earn this badge. 2 activities must be completed to earn your Artist in Residence badge. To mark an activity as completed, simply click next to it. Click 1 activity completed, 2 activities completed, and I've earned my art badge, and 2 tickets to put in our summer drawing. So what are these tickets that we're talking about? Well, this summer, anytime that you earn a badge for logging reading or for completing activities, they come with tickets, virtual tickets, that you can then put into drawings for prizes of your choice. There are lots of wonderful prizes this year, everything from a family pass to the National Aquarium, to a $100 gift card at your favorite local restaurant, to a brand new gaming system of your choice. Earn tickets for logging badges and activity badges. To enter your tickets in a drawing, choose your reader and click on the Discoverer tab. Click on your current challenge and then click on Drawings. The number of tickets available to spend will be at the top of the screen. To enter a ticket in a drawing, simply click on the drawing, click Add Tickets, choose the number of tickets you would like to add, and click Add Tickets. You've been entered in the drawing. Go back to see all of the drawings that are available over the summer. Click any drawing to add tickets. Add as many tickets as you like. You've been entered in the drawing. If you change your mind, simply click Add or Remove Tickets and take tickets away. Remove tickets. Add and subtract tickets all summer long. Be sure to note the drawing date on each of the raffle prizes. Prizes will be drawn throughout the summer. Tickets must be entered by 11:59 on the date of the drawing to be qualified for that drawing. And it's just that easy. We hope that you have a great time this summer with our reading challenge and using the Beanstack Tracker app. If you have any questions or have problems, please call the library at 410-535-0291 for assistance. And stay tuned to Calvert Library's social media feeds for more can-do videos. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
So one of the summer activities we have in our challenge is to make a new recipe and practice some of your math skills. So we thought it would be really fun to bring in one of our community friends. This is going to be Gwen Novak from a very cool cooking school down in Solomon's Island called No Time to Cook. And I know they offer lots of cool classes for both adults and kids. And today, Gwen's going to show us how to make some no-bake energy bites. She uses some peanut butter, some oats, all sorts of fun mix-ins. And I love this recipe because I think it's very versatile. So let's kick it over to Gwen and see what she's got cooking up today.
Hi everyone, I'm Chef Gwen Novak here at No Time to Cook on Solomon's Island. And I hope you are enjoying your summer reading marathon. We're excited to be part of it. I wanted to share with you one of my favorite recipes from my new cookbook, How to Cook for Beginners. This is a really fun one that you can do by yourself. Don't even need your parents around because you're not going to bake these. What they're called are no-bake energy bites. And so I'm going to walk you guys through what you need and how to make these things to make your own sweet treat, and a little bit healthy too. So what you're going to do is you're going to need a bowl, a nice bowl. You're going to need some measuring cups and measuring spoons. And it's going to be really helpful to have a spatula as well as a cookie scoop, because we're going to portion out your balls with the scoop. So what we're going to do is really quickly, easy recipe. We're going to take oats, and you need 1 cup of whole rolled oats, and you want to get it nice and level. So you can take your finger or you can take a knife and scoop it off and pour the oats uncooked right into your bowl. Now you're going to take 3/4 of a cup of coconut flakes. You'll see on the measuring cups, it'll tell you 1/4. So we're going to do that 3 times. So 3/4 of a cup. And again, you can kind of shake it off to get it nice and level. That's 1. And for me, sometimes I get talking and I forget how many I put in. So if you're like me, what you can do is take your next scoop and put it in a different place in the bowl. You can kind of see that, so you can tell that now I've done 2 and I need 1 more for a 3rd. Now you probably want to do sweetened coconut flakes for this, a little bit extra sugar. If you don't want them quite as sweet, just use unsweetened coconut. Okay, so we have 1 cup of oats, 3/4 of a cup of coconut flakes, and now we're going to add a 1/2 cup of peanut butter. You can use creamy. I'm using creamy, but I really like chunky as well. You can use whatever you have, use whatever you like. It does not matter in this recipe. So what I'm going to do is get my spatula, and this is, good and sticky. And if you want to really measure, that's our dog, Shelly. She likes these things very much. You just sort of scoop it into the 1/2 cup measure. Get it nice and level. And then all that peanut buttery goodness is going into your bowl. Scoop it out as best you can. Get it as good and clean as you can, because you want all that peanut butter in the bowl. And then we're going to need a 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, at least a 1/2 cup, right? So I just messed up my 1/2 cup, and I don't want all the chocolate chips to stick to it. So I'm going to use my 1/4 cup. There's a lot of math involved, believe it or not, in cooking. I'm going to use that 1/4 cup twice. 2 1/4 cups, nice and level, make 1/2 cup. So that's 1 and 2. Now I told you that these were kind of healthy. So what we're going to do is add either some ground flaxseed to it, or I'm going to add, in this case, some chia seeds. And I am going to add about 1/3 of a cup of chia seeds too. I'm sorry, a 1/4 cup chia seeds. Now, the peanut butter is going to help it stick together, but we need something else to do that. So what I'm going to do is add a 1/3 of a cup of honey. I've got a little quick trick for you. Honey, like peanut butter, likes to stick to everything, and so it makes it really difficult to get all of it out of your measuring cup. So what you're going to do to help encourage it to come out of the measuring cup is to spray it with a little bit of vegetable spread. So give that a little scoop, and then we're going to pour the honey in just to the top. And then, if I did it right, all of that is going to come out of that measuring cup. So much cleaner and easier than it would if you had to scrape it out. You might have to scrape a little bit. That's okay. Okay. And then lastly, we need some vanilla. So we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla to this. So now you're going to need your measuring spoons. And again, like the measuring cups, they have indicators on them, tell you exactly how much it is. So this guy is 1 teaspoon. 1 yummy teaspoon to that. And now we're going to give this guy a stir. This is when you need your strong muscles. Stir, stir, stir. until it's all incorporated. Now, if you like white chocolate chips, you could add those instead. If you like butterscotch, you could use those instead. If you like dark chocolate, feel free to add that. If you like nuts, you could add nuts to it. Pecans or almonds would be really good in this, so would walnuts. So you just want to make sure that all the ingredients are well incorporated, and that looks really good. So now what you're going to do is take a cookie sheet pan. And what I've done is, here's the basic sheet pan. Take a piece of what's called parchment paper. It's kind of like wax paper, but it has superhero ability. So nothing sticks to this. It's the best. Because if you were just to put these energy bite balls on your sheet pan by themselves, they're probably going to stick. And that's very frustrating and no fun. So line it with parchment paper first of all. And then you take your cookie scoop and make a nice little ball. And then keep on going until you've used up all of your mix. Now we use a cookie scoop because that way we know each one of them is exactly the same size and everybody gets equal portions. So just keep on going with those guys until you fill up the whole tray. You've used up all of the mix. Pop them in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes and you have an amazing, delicious, semi-healthy treat that you can make on your own. So you guys enjoy your summer and we'll see you later.
Thank you, Gwen, for sharing that fun, easy recipe with us. I've made these myself. They are so delicious, perfect for filling up before fun summer activities like hiking, swimming, or just, curling up on the couch with a book. The recipe comes from Gwen's new cookbook, How to Cook for Beginners, so you can find more treats in there as well. And Gwen will be hosting another longer cooking class for teens and tweens through Calvert Library in August. So check back with us for more. I also know that No Time to Cook is offering virtual classes through the summer. So if you liked this segment, you should take a peek at what else they have coming up.
Those classes sound like so much fun. And, if you're interested in cooking, we've got another new resource at the library that might be helpful for you. It's called Creative Bug. And Creative Bug has all sorts of different crafts and cooking and all sorts of different activities that you can do right from our website.
That's right. All you need to do to access our new Creative Bug database is to go to creativebug.com/lib/Calvert Library, and then just log in with your library card number and your PIN. And if you can't remember your PIN, remember we're standing by to take your calls. So go ahead and give us a call at 410-535-0291, and we'll help you out.
One craft that I have always been fascinated by is pottery. And we're very lucky to have a local potter just over in Huntingtown. His name is Ray Bogle. And he's made a video for us today to show us how to make our own fish plates at home. So let's take a look.
Hi there, my name is Ray Bogle. I am a potter and I live in Huntingtown, Maryland. Today I'm going to show you how to make a couple of little fish plates. I hope you enjoy the process and let's go do it. To make these, they're pretty simple. You don't need a lot of tools. You'll need some clay. So I have some clay here. This is regular potter's clay that does need to be fired in a kiln to become hard and durable. But you can get self-hardening clay, and you can get that at Michael's or via Amazon is another place you can get it. And with that, you make your item just like we would make it today, and then you're going to let it dry. And some self-hardening clays need to be fired in an oven at a very low temperature for an hour or so. One of those clays is called Skelpie clay. And as you can see here, this is an oven-baked clay. You do fire it for about 170 degrees for an hour or so. And this is enough that you could actually make one or two of these fish out of a pound. but you can also use it to make some stamps. I'll talk about that in a minute. You'll want some construction paper that you will use to make some little templates just by cutting them out. They kind of look like a football, and you'll use those. You'll see me use them a little bit later to make the initial cutouts that you'll turn into fish. The folks, when you start hand building with clay, a lot of folks do things with textures. So I just wanted to show you a lot of different ways to make stamps, and you can be very creative when you're making your fish and what kind of texture you put on it. But these are some stamps that I made by pushing Sculpey clay into shells, and so it gives me something with a little handle that I can use. And again, this one was done on a shell too, so I can take and kind of roll that. You see the texture there. I can push this one in there. You see that? These are some little wire nuts that you can take and push in. Get fun little things. You might do something like that for an eyeball. This was made out of clay and fired. So got that. You can use actual shells to push in, or even do something like that. That might be fun for doing some little scales or something like that. You can buy little rollers and other little wooden stamps, but you see how that makes that kind of fun. Here's a wooden stamp. Okay. And then you can also purchase regular old rubber stamps and use those. Those are nice if you're going to make some words on your pieces. And lastly, this is some cloth that I'm going to use to make fish scales. You'll see how that's done in a moment. And this is also here, I'm going to use this to make some scale type things. All right, so let's move on. I'm going to get my ball of clay. This is probably a pound and a half, or maybe close to 2 pounds. It's plenty of clay to make 2 of them. Okay, so you are going to need another piece of construction paper to use to roll out your slab, because we don't want to do it right on the board. If we do it right on the board or right on a table, it's going to stick to that. And you don't want that. It'll all get stuck and make a mess. So when you're making a slab, first go ahead and just push it out by hand. And lift this up a little bit. Okay. And if you have a rolling pin, you can use that. If you're gonna, don't grab your mom's without asking for it. And the other things you're gonna need is a needle tool. You can use something like a very sharp pencil, or even a little nail, something like that. Just something that's kind of sharp on the end. And then you will also need a knife. This is called a fettling knife that potters use to cut things. Any old knife will do. Again, if you use one from the silverware drawer, make sure you ask parents first. And it's nice to have a little board to work on. So I'm flattening it out just by hand. Again, if you don't have a roller, you can just keep pushing on this, and you want to get this approximately 1/8 of an inch thick, but it doesn't have to be exact. One way that you can use to get something that's fairly uniform is to use some wooden sticks like this, some paint sticks. You may have some of those laying around the house, but that lets you just kind of push down on the roller, and it'll make it nice and even for you. You can see how it's getting flat, smooth on the top, flat. You don't have paint rollers, you may have some dowels. And this can, anything that's just 2 uniform thicknesses that you can use. You use the dowels in the same way. The dowels are about 1/8 of an inch thick, which is about what you want your slab to be. So I'm close now. Doesn't have to be exact. Don't worry about it. Just have fun. Okay. So there we go. We have this slab, and I'm now going to flip this over. It should remain stuck to the paper, and I'll peel the paper back. Okay, if it happens to have some little marks like that, it's not a problem. Take your roller and just very lightly roll it, and you should see that they go away. Okay, so we'll go ahead and flip this over. All right, so now let me get my templates, and we'll go ahead and start making the fish. So what you do is you take your little template that you made and put that on there. This one here, I originally cut it as kind of a football shape, but I rounded it off just to where the nose would be a little bit rounded. You know, have fun with this. Make these different shapes. Maybe try one as a football just so you get the feel of it. But then I'm sure you can be very creative when you make your own. All right, so we'll take that, and now I'm going to use my knife to just cut around them. Just don't worry that if you're not perfect on cutting, it's just a guide to get you in the right shape. Here we go. Now, don't throw your scrap clay away. We will need that here in a moment, but you can wad it up and just set it aside. All right. So I'm first going to put the fish scale texture on. And to do that, got some netting. We got this at the local Joann's fabric store. You place that on your piece, and you'll want to use your roller if you have it. If not, just lightly press it in by hand. But the important thing is don't really cram it down into the clay, because it'll make it really hard to get out. So you'll see what it looks like here. So I'm just lightly putting the roller over it, and what you're looking for is I want to be able to still see the cloth. If I push it down too much and it gets trapped in there, it kind of gets hard to come out. So see that? Looks like fish scales. Okay, and then I'll show you, do essentially the same thing. Now I'm leaving this area not, blank, because that's going to be the head up there. And you just lightly do this again with the roller or with your hand. Again, keeping to where you can still see the cloth. You don't want to get it too squished down in there, but see that? Looks good. All right, so get this one set aside, and we'll pull this one out to where we can now work with it. So you're gonna first, and you can do these things actually in any order, but I'm gonna start with the eyeball. So you take a little ball of clay, and anytime you are working with clay and you're gonna stick one piece of clay onto another, or you have two pieces like you'll see later with the fins and you need them to stick together, you have to do what's called scoring and slipping. So you take your pointy object or needle and you do some scratches. That's called scoring. And then I'm going to put the eyeball right about there. So I do a little scratch. You take a brush just a little bit of water. It doesn't have to be much at all. And take your scratched area, put it down, push it a little bit, and then you can use something. I'm going to use the end of the paintbrush to make a little eyeball right there. Now, you can put a mouth in it by just drawing a mouth on it, or you can cut one. That's what I do sometimes. Just kind of take my knife and do that. Now you could just maneuver that around if you wanted to, or you can take and get a little chunk of clay out of there. So okay, it makes a fun little mouth. Do it however you want. You can make a shark, put little teeth in there if you wanted to. Lastly, up at the head, I like to put a little bit of a separation. I'm going to hold the paintbrush like this, not necessarily like a pencil, because that will more scratch it and leave some burrs. So if you hold it like this, you can just take and do that, and it leaves a smooth line. And then fish have gills, so just to simulate some gills, you can do something like that. Now the last thing we need to do is to go ahead and make his little back fins. And the easiest way to do that is to take your knife and to just kind of cut it like so. You can be creative with this. I would suggest you do your first one kind of like this, just so you get the feel of working with the clay. But afterwards, I'm sure there's some more creative ways to do it. Now, we're going to gently pick these up, and I will put them together like that. But we need to score this where they're going to overlap. In this case, I'm just going to do one. It would be kind of hard to get the underside, and this is sufficient for what we're doing. Put a little bit of water there, not a lot. You don't want it dribbling all over the place. And then I'm going to fold that over gently. And you'll notice it'll curve up now in the back there. And just gently push those together. You don't have to squish them or deform them. There's enough there to hold it together. Now, you could choose to leave it like that. Might be kind of a fun little guy with it flat down here, but I like to help them be a little bit curved up. So you can see on this one here where these edges are curved up a little bit. That way, if you happen to put something in there that might be a liquid, it wouldn't just flow out. So what you'll do, get this guy out of the way, and I'm going to make a coil. Do that by taking some of your spare clay and roll it out. You can do one bigger roll here, or I'll kind of do this with two. So you'll take that and then make another one. There's no exact size for these, so don't be too worried about it. And oops, what we're going to do is use these coils to slowly lift up the edge, and then to support that lifted edge with the coils. Okay, so just take your time, lift up that edge, and get it mostly smooth. And then we'll lift up this side and put that coil under there. Lift up the nose just a little more. Okay, now the whole thing may be up a little bit, so you can now very gently push it down until you feel it hit the table. And that's it. You are done with your fish for now. Now you may have some little rough edges on here where you've cut. Don't worry about those right now. You need to let the clay dry a little bit. So over here, I have some fish. I made these ones yesterday, and you can see that these are a little lighter in color than these. These were made earlier today, and they're still pretty much the same color as your original clay, but I can now pick them up, and you can see they're hard or harder. This is called leather hard clay. It's where you can handle it. And what you'll want to do here is use, got a little bit of water, a sponge, like with no dripping water out, nothing, no drips, not a lot of water. And you can use this sponge at this time to go around and just gently get the edges, and you can get rid of any sharp burrs. Shouldn't take much to just do that. And now you want to be careful of your little fins. They are easy to break off and can be a little bit hard to reattach at this state, although you could. If you break one, do a little bit of a score and a little bit of water and put it back on. But try not to break them. So in that, what's helpful there is to brush with the direction of the fin. Don't brush it down, because then you might break it. And that's it. So now this is basically done, and you would set it aside to dry. If you're using the potter's clay, a couple of days and it'll be completely dry. And then you'll have to find some way to get it fired. You may know somebody with a kiln. Lastly, I just wanted to share that you notice how this clay is much lighter in color. This is clay that has been completely dried, and at this point the clay is very brittle. And you'll see here that if I take how easily it just literally breaks and it would crumble. And at this point you essentially can't fix it. So once they get to that state, be very careful of the fins when you're transporting it or working with it. And that's it. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video on how to make your little fish plates. Have a good time. Bye.
Thanks, Ray. That looks like a really fun project. If you're interested in seeing more of Ray's pottery, then check out his website at madewithclay.com. And we're so lucky in this area to have so many great local artists and local businesses, and we're always so happy to support them. We hope that you're reaching out this summer to support them too.
Absolutely. I plan on supporting Chesapeake's Bounty this summer. I love their good produce. Their ice cream is incredible, and their delicious crabs.
Well, you know that is one of our prizes this summer. You could actually win a $150 gift card toward a bushel of crabs at Chesapeake's Bounty this summer.
That is right. This year's prizes are done on a ticket system. For every 20 minutes that you read, you earn a ticket, and you can put your tickets into the drawing for any prize that you want. So all of mine are going towards those crabs. They sound delicious.
You know, I don't know. We have an awful lot of really cool prizes. So this is how it works. Every time you log 20 minutes, you're going to get one ticket. Every time you get an activity badge, you get 2 tickets. And you're going to put those tickets in one of 24 different prize buckets. So we have all sorts of things that you can win. We talked about the crabs. There are gift cards for a local restaurant. There are toys for the kids. You can even win a brand new gaming system of your choice. That's the one that my son is putting all of his tickets in. So as soon as we start, get signed up so that you can start earning those tickets.
What are some of the other activities you can participate in to earn tickets?
some of our badges actually are to do things on our virtual branch. So, we've had to kind of change what we're doing this year. Instead of having people come into the library for programs like we usually do, we're doing a lot of our things online. And our friend Nathan is here to tell us all about some of the really exciting things that are going on at Calvert Library this summer.
The Calvert Reads Festival is always one of my favorite events to attend at the library. This year we couldn't do it in the building, so we're doing it virtually, and I'm really excited about the things they have lined up. We actually have a lot of virtual events going on. We have some activities you can do at your own pace, we have some live events using things like Zoom. There's a whole lot to check out. How can you find out what we're offering? Let me show you. Okay, so you're interested in our virtual events. One thing you could do is follow us on social media. We post our upcoming events every week. You can also go to calvertlibrary.info. From there, if you scroll down, we have actually a button here, Virtual Events, and you can see everything that's coming up. I want to see what's coming up this week. So I'm going to pick a date range. And of course, I could also hit today, this week, next week, and so on. And we have a lot going on. Some events, like our Storytime snippets, don't have a registration button. These are videos that we post to social media and to YouTube, and if you haven't seen them, I highly recommend them. My daughter begs me to watch a new one every day. There's also events, like our upcoming Tween Teen Animal Crossing party, that do require registration. You would just click here and put in your personal information. Okay, so there's a lot of events there. Let's try to filter them. So location, right now you're going to want to just keep it checked on Virtual Branch. That could change in the future as we start to add events at our branches, but for right now, just the Virtual Branch. Age group, you can pick whatever age group you'd like. And event type. So for instance, let's see what kind of book discussions we have going on. Okay, first, Calvert Library's Book Bites. This is something new we're trying. We're having some librarians read the first chapter of some really good books. So you can listen along wherever you get your podcasts and decide if that book was something you'd be interested in. We have one for tweens and teens. Then we're going to also have an online book club. This book club will meet at a specific time, June 25th, 4 to 5, and you will have to register because we'll have an online meeting for that. I've heard really great things about this book, and I kind of want to read it myself. Okay, so that concludes my tour of our events page. Enjoy the rest of Calvert Reads.
Thanks, Nathan. That all sounds amazing. I'm particularly excited about a teen and tween event that we have coming up at the end of July. We have a local crafter named Andrea Kroll, and she's going to teach us how to make wind chimes from just sort of things you have all around the house. So I think that should be a pretty fun one.
Well, that does sound fun. We have so many really cool things going on for teens and tweens this summer, but we haven't forgotten about our little guys either, our littlest customers. And I don't know, have you checked out Tumble Books?
I do have some experience with Tumble Books.
It is so much fun. And there's picture books on there that talk and are animated, but there's also talking chapter books on there too for a little bit older readers. So we have a little thing from Miss Ellen to tell us all about it.
Hello, this is Ellen with Calvert Library. Have you been looking for a new way to share books with children? If so, Calvert Library has a great digital resource called Tumble Books. Tumble Books are animated talking picture books or talking chapter books. Tumble Books can be accessed on your PC, your Mac, your tablet, or your smartphone using an app. Today, I'm going to be demonstrating Tumble Books for you using my PC and my Google Chrome browser. Let's take a closer look.
Let's begin at calvertlibrary.info.
tap on the Kids and Teens tab. Scroll down a bit under the Kids tab. Tap on Tumble Books. Now we're in Tumble Book Library. You can see there are several navigation tabs along the middle here. I'm going to start by showing you one of the storybooks. So I'm going to tap the Storybooks tab. Remember, the storybooks are the talking animated picture books for young children. Tumble Books divides them into categories, as you can see. I like to choose View All Titles. I can see all of the storybooks that are offered. They're in alphabetical order, and I would like to demonstrate one. I'm going to go ahead and show you Biscuit. So it will bring us to this page that gives us more details about the book we selected. You can see over on the right it gives you the tumble time, which is how long the book will play, the accelerated reader level, and some other information such as the author and illustrator. I'm going to go ahead and play the video. You might have to adjust it a bit on your screen.
This is Biscuit. Biscuit is small. Biscuit is yellow. Time for bed, Biscuit. Woof, woof.
So you get the idea there. So that's one of the storybooks. Let's go back to Tumble Books. Let's take a look at the second tab, which are the read-alongs. The read-alongs are basically chapter books for a little bit older elementary school children. Again, Tumble Books breaks them down into categories. I'm going to go ahead and view all titles. And I'm going to choose a chapter book so that you can see the difference between this and the storybooks. I'm going to choose Sea Dog. Again, we get the page that gives us information about the title, the tumble time, the accelerated reader points. I'm going to tap Read Online. And down in the left-hand corner is the play button.
Sea Dog by Dale Campbell Gates. Chapter 1. Wind howled around Kyle's house. A big gust rattled his window.
So you get the idea. It's reading the title to the child, and it's highlighting the text as it reads so that the child can easily read along. So that is an example of a read-along. Let's go back to Tumble Books. The next tab is Nonfiction. Nonfiction is broken down into categories again, and a lot of fun things in here if you guys are learning about nonfiction topics. I'm not going to demonstrate this since we've already done some demonstration. The next tab are videos. These are National Geographic short video clips on nonfiction topics. Nice pairing with some of the titles. The next tab is language learning. This is cool because there are Spanish and French titles in Tumble Books, so it's a great way to learn a little bit of a second language. Next tab is playlists. Playlists are pre-made lists that Tumble Book has created. So if you want to sit down and read for a certain chunk of time, you can choose something from one of these lists, and Tumble Books will play several titles, adding up to that amount of time. You can also create your own playlists. The last tab are puzzles and games. There are a few puzzles and games in here pertaining to some of the titles, not all of the titles. And those are a great, just kind of comprehension supplement for the titles. So that's just a really quick overview of Tumble Books. I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for taking that tour with me. Remember to keep an eye on Calvert Library's social media for more can-do digital videos. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ellen. Tumble books are lots of fun, but if you're missing your Storytime librarians, we have a special treat for you. Our children's team has been working hard to create Storytime snippets, which all feature different Storytime elements. We've got songs, stories, flannels. They're all tons of fun. Here is Miss Brenna sharing some music with us in one of our favorite snippets.
Hello, friends. This is Miss Brenna with Calvert Library, and I'm so happy that you could join me for Music Monday. The first thing I need to do is give a big thank you to Raffi, who is allowing us the permission to cover his song called I'm in the Mood. Now, if you've ever heard I'm in the Mood before, you know that it's a pretty upbeat song with lots of clapping and foot stomping. But I was thinking it's actually pretty late in the day, so I'm thinking we're gonna mellow it out a little bit. We'll start the same way as Raffi with the first verse, I'm in the mood for singing, and then we're gonna do I'm in the mood for, what's this? Stretching. I'm in the mood for yawning. I'm in the mood for dreaming. And finally, I'm in the mood for stories, because I think we'll all be in the mood for a bedtime story when we finish singing our song. Let's get started. I'm in the mood for singing. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for singing. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for singing, singing along with you. Thank you so much for singing that song with me. I would love to know what your favorite bedtime stories are right now. So please leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us for another Storytime snippet. We'll look forward to seeing you again. Sweet dreams. Have a wonderful night. Bye.
Thanks, Brenna. That's one of my favorite songs for story time, so I really love to see it shared with all of us. Remember, we post storytime snippets every day of the week except Sundays, and you don't have to watch them as they come out. They stay in perpetuity on our social media platforms, and on YouTube, you can actually make playlists, so you can watch a bunch in a row. We also have some playlists already set up for you, so definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already.
Yeah, absolutely. Our social media team has been so busy while we've been home and has been posting so much information and fun things to watch and things to do on all of our social media outlets. So be sure to like our Facebook page, go on. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, and also on YouTube. And the YouTube playlists are really fun. If you don't want to just have one little snippet, you can do a whole story time full of snippets any way you like. So actually, one of my favorite things that we do on social media, and they post these on all of our sites, is our book faces, Book Face Friday. Those are really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen one and you don't know what a book face is, let's watch the video.
Have you seen Calvert Library's book faces on social media? Here's a few to enjoy right now.
Aren't they so fun? So we definitely encourage you to make your own, give them a shot. Some of the books you're reading over the summer, see what you can do with them. And you should definitely post them on social media and tag us so we can take a look at what you're up to.
Absolutely. All of Calvert Library's programming will be virtual over the summer, but we do post our Team Unplugged challenges on social media that encourage you to get out and have fun away from the screens for a little while. We recently held a Lego challenge where you could recreate a scene from your favorite book or movie using Legos and anything else you have around the house.
Yeah, so fun. So, I'm sure you know at this point that Calvert Library has so many ways for you to get books virtually. But we all know someone, maybe we are that someone, who likes to have a physical book in their hand. New books, old books, they're all great. But, sometimes we definitely know at the library that sometimes books need a little extra love and care. And that is where professional bookbinders come in. So next, we're really excited to have Vicki Lee with us. She is from the Potomac branch of the Guild of Bookworkers. And she's going to teach us how to make a little journal, our own little book, out of a single sheet of paper.
My name is Vicki Lee, and I'm a member of the Guild of Bookworkers. Today I'm going to show you how to make a book out of a single sheet of paper. I got the instructions from this book called The Art of the Fold by Hetty Kyle. let's get started. So we're going to take from the top of the sheet and we're going to fold it down to the bottom, but we're not going to crease it. We just kind of want to match up our corners. And then we're just going to sort of pinch down here on the corner and come over onto the other side and pinch down on the corner. And we're doing that so we know where we'll have an impression. You could make a little pencil mark if your paper is dark, that might be helpful. But then we're going to fold from our bottom edge up to that little crease that we just put. And that's what that mark is for. We're not going to need it for anything else. And this time we're going to fold all the way across the bottom. Take our bone folder or popsicle stick, give it a nice hard crease. I like to spin my paper around, and then I'll fold up again, up to that crease in the middle. And then we'll fold again. Okay, then we open it back up, kind of make it flat again. And this time we're going to take it on our short edge and fold it across. And again, we're going to make our corners to corners. And then this time we are going to fold it all the way. That, or you could use the back of your scissors if you want to do something like that, a popsicle stick, or just your fingers. Just make sure it's a nice hard crease because we're going to want to keep that one. Now we're going to spin it around again. Got our big middle crease. This guy doesn't want to lay flat. And then we're going to take our far edge, fold it into the middle, into that crease. Spin it around and do the same thing with the other side. We're going to fold into that middle crease, in that hard crease that we made. So now you have something that looks just long and skinny, and it has this opening part. And you can already see that you kind of got a book starting out there. We have our long, thin book, and we have those creases that we first put in. You can see them on both sides still. Those creases are going to get folded. Just kind of pinch them nice and hard, so we don't lose them as we keep opening and closing the book. Pinch them on both sides, get a good crease. They are going to get folded to the inside. And they're going to be our pages. So there you can see that we're going to have a small, tiny book. Now we're going to need to crease this back edge. So on the spine side, not on the opening side, we're going to set up our ruler about 1/2 inch or so from the edge. Just whatever looks good for your book. You just need to have enough, because this will stay sort of rigid, and then the rest of it will be where it opens. So you can make it a little bit tinier or a little bit bigger, however you like it. And this is where we need the ruler, just not really to measure, but just to give us something hard to press up against. Like I said, you can use the edge of a book or just anything hard that you have. So you really want to press up against this to make sure that it bends. And then you can take your ruler away, and you can really fold it hard. And then you're going to have to take it in the other direction and fold it back the way it came just a minute ago. And it takes a little bit of pressure because you've got all those folds there on the inside, and you're trying to fold everything so everybody gets that good crease. You do that back and forth a few times. And there you have that. So now I'm going to open it back up. So that's that really long one. And you're going to cut along these creases on either side. But you only want to cut as far as our spine crease. You don't want to cut all the way to the very edge. Let me show you. And you can cut through the whole thing, or just one at a time. One at a time is a little bit easier. I'll move down to the one on the other side, and you just want to cut right along that crease that we made, right to that point, so that you don't cut all the way to that very edge. Spin it around, cut the other two sides. Like I said, you can cut through all of it all at once, but sometimes that's a little hard for your scissors. Okay, now we're going to fold these guys back in, and they fold in a lot more easily now because it's not as bulky and hard with that extra fold there. So there you have what's going to be your book. And so the very last step is to get your needle and thread, and you're going to sew through. And you're going to have to make holes in your book, 3 holes. You know, stick your pages in as far back as you can. You're going to put a hole right in the middle, or just about. And I'm just going to go back and forth and make the holes for you first. That makes it a little easier when you're trying to sew. And then I'm going to put this one close to the bottom, but not too close because you don't want it to tear as you use your book. And then one up at the top. You need a good sturdy needle to do this with. One thing that you could use is a hole punch, but that's going to leave a really big hole. So that one you might want to use yarn with if you're going to make this kind of a book with yarn. Another thing you can do is to use a stapler. And if you're going to use a stapler, you'll need to put a staple in the middle and then one on either side. So you'll need 3 staples if you have a stapler. I don't have a stapler, but I have lots of needle and thread. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to start, and you can start on the front side and have your knot on the front, or you can start from the back and have your knot end up on the back. It doesn't make any difference. It's completely up to you. I'm going to start on the front. I'm going to pull, you go from the front to the back, and you want to hold a little tail because you don't want to pull that through because you're going to have to make a knot. And then I'm going to go from the back, and I went down to the bottom, but you can go up to the top. That doesn't make a difference. And I'm going to pull my thread through, back out to the front side of the book. And then I'm going to go all the way up to the top hole, and go to the back. And then I'm take my needle for the last bit and go from the back out through that center hole again. I usually have a thread on either side of my long thread in the middle. So I have one on this side and one on that side. I just think it lets the knot hold the string better, but it doesn't have to be that way. And you just tie a regular knot, right over left and left over right. And you're done. And you can trim, or you could leave them long if you wanted to. So there is your completed book. And there's one more thing that you can do. So when you have your book and you open it up, you're going to have 2 pages at the bottom. and 2 pages at the top. And then you have your back cover. If you want to have more pages, you can cut these, because right now you can see that, that they're open. They're connected to each other. So you can make more sides. And to do that, you just cut that. I'll do the two at the top, so you see. So now you'd have 2 at the bottom, and then you'd have 4 pages up at the top. And then you could cut those, and you'd go from having 6 pages to 8 pages. So it's at this point, however you want to do these inside pages is up to you. I'll show you a couple of other ones I've done. This is one that I've done in this dark green paper. And on this one, I kind of cut the edges, kind of angled them. So those are cut apart. And then I have some of those crazy scissors that make waves and things like that. And so you can see on this one, I've used the waves. And so that gives it a little bit of decoration. My scissors aren't the greatest and they kind of chewed up the edge of it, but that's the idea. So you can do something like that to open your pages up too. But that's how you make this one little book. It's called The Winter Fold, and it was created by Hetty Kyle. And the name of her book again is called The Art of the Fold. I hope you enjoyed it and make a lot of books. Thanks, guys.
How fun. What a neat little project to either keep for yourself or, give to someone who is important to you.
And speaking of books, we know you might still have some books checked out from your local branch, but there is no rush to get them back to us because nothing is due until August. All of our book drops are now open, so you can bring back the items you have at home if you're ready to get rid of them.
And if you're ready to pick up some new ones, we're so excited to let you know that we're starting curbside pickup at all of our branches for the books starting this Monday, June 22nd. And you might be wondering a little bit about how that's going to work because that's a totally new thing. So we are going to kick it over to Meg to tell us a little bit more.
Hi everyone, it's Meg at Calvert Library. I am so excited to be telling you about curbside pickup. Let's go inside and see how it's done. Hey Missy!
Hey Meg, how are you?
Oh, I'm so excited about curbside. Can you tell me a little bit about how it works?
I sure can. Each morning we run a curbside report, which I have right here, and that has all the orders that have been placed by our customers. And our next step is to go grab those items off the shelves to fill those orders.
Oh, all right, let's go take a look and do that.
Great, come on.
So Missy,
Yes,
what are you up to now?
I am preparing Joe's order. His time is coming up soon, so I want to make sure that I have everything ready for him. So I'm putting his items that he requested in the bag. I am sealing it up. And I'm going to write his name on here so that he knows where he is. And then I'm going to take them out to the vestibule for his allotted pickup time.
Aha!
After being notified that his hold is in, Joe made an appointment online and is now arriving at the library for table pickup at that scheduled time. Here, Joe checks the vestibule to manage social distancing from other customers. Only one person in the vestibule at a time. Thank you for your patience. Wait times for holds may be longer than usual due to quarantine of materials.
Oh, hey, Joe.
Hey, Meg.
How'd it go?
It was great. It was really, really easy.
All right.
See ya next time.
Bye.
The library is also offering trunk delivery if you prefer. You can make that choice when you make your appointment. Please park in the appropriately marked spot. And that's all there is to it. It's that easy. Hope you enjoy curbside pickup.
Thanks, Meg. That was great information. We are so excited to see our customers again. We have missed you. We hope that you've missed us a little bit too. We're excited about getting things back in your hands again. So remember that you can place holds by going to our website and requesting items. If you can't do that, you can also just give us a call. Librarians are ready to help you anytime, and we can get those things on hold. And we can get things from all over the Tri-County area, remember, not just from our individual libraries. And so you've seen how curbside works for us, how it works on our end, but let's see how it's going to work for you, how you make your appointments and come and get your things. We've got Karen to tell us about that right now.
Hello everyone, this is Karen from Calvert Library. Today I'm going to show you how to schedule a curbside appointment. Starting June 22nd, you will be able to pick up bag materials that you've placed on hold in our library catalog. You will be able to pick up your items in our vestibules or by trunk delivery. The first thing you will need to do is place the items you want on hold. Feel free to request enough items to last you 3 weeks or more. Once you get your notification that your items are ready to be picked up, you can schedule a curbside appointment. If your notification is by email, the email will include a link for you to schedule your curbside appointment. Remember that it may take a little bit longer to get your items because we are quarantining everything for 3 days before passing them on to another customer. Let me show you how to schedule your curbside appointment. Okay. We are going to start with calvertlibrary.info. That's our homepage. If you scroll down, you'll see a box that says Book Drop and Curbside Info. Go ahead and click on that box. That will bring you to the screen, which gives you information on how to make your curbside appointment. Again, it's starting June 22nd. There's a step-by-step guide. It helps you place items on hold. Talks about your notifications and how to schedule your day and time. There'll be 2 options. There'll be a table pickup and there'll be a trunk delivery. Table pickup, you'll come inside our vestibule, and trunk delivery will bring the items out to you. Parking spots will be marked for those customers who choose trunk delivery. If you're coming inside, please do not park in those spots. All right, let's go up and schedule a curbside appointment. So it reminds you that you have to have received an email or call saying that your library materials are available before scheduling pickup. If you need help placing a request, here's our numbers. And to schedule your appointment, you will need your library card number. You'll have to select a location. Select whether you want table pickup or trunk delivery, and select the date and time slot. All right, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to choose Twin Beaches trunk delivery, and I'm going to schedule it for Wednesday, June 24th at 11:30 a.m. Okay. This screen will confirm your booking Wednesday, June 24th at 11:30, trunk delivery at Twin Beaches branch. I've typed in my name, my email address, my cell number, and my library card number. You will also need to put in vehicle make, model, and color. So I will put in my information and I'll click confirm. Okay, so booking confirmed. We have scheduled it for Wednesday, June 24th at 11:30 a.m. Trunk delivery at Twin Beaches branch, and it has all my information here. The last thing you will need to do is click this box finished, and you're all set to pick up your items. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we hope to see you soon. Please remember to wear a mask when entering the library vestibule and maintain at least 6 feet of distance between staff and other customers. If you are able, please put any returns in the outside book return before or after your appointment time. If you have any questions, you can call your local branch. We hope you enjoy your books and movies, and we look forward to seeing you all again. Be sure to tune in for more Can Do digital videos on our social media platforms at Calvert Library. Thank you and have a great day.
So as Sandy mentioned, we do have a great regional library that brings books from Charles, Calvert, and St. Mary's. And we have delivery trucks that travel every weekday. So we're always working hard to get you the books that you want. And we have a lot of great ways to help you find your next great read. So Jessie is going to tell us a little bit more about that.
Hello, this is Jessie with Calvert Library. Today I'm going to show you how to find your next read using our catalog and some of the resources on our website, as well as how to place a hold on an item in our catalog. So here we are on our website, calvertlibrary.info, and the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is to find a book and a book recommendation in our catalog and place a hold on it. So I'm going to go down to Using the Library and click on Catalog. And here it brings me right to our catalog. The first thing I'm going to do is log in the corner. So I have my library card number and my password. I'm going to click Log In and go back to the home page. And from here, I can type in a book in the search bar. So I'm going to type in a book that I read and enjoyed recently. And click Enter. And then I can find that book. Here it is. It gives me information on the book, a bit of a summary. Down at the bottom I can find the availability, but what I'm looking for are the read-alike titles and similar authors that are suggested to me using Novelist, which is one of the databases that Calvert Library subscribes to. So I can click on one of these similar titles and it shows me why this title was recommended to me based on my interest in The Girl with the Pearl Earring, and I can click right on Find It, and it pulls up a search for that specific book. I can see that we have an audiobook on Overdrive. We have a physical audiobook on CD, a large print, and a physical copy of the book. I can see that there are 3 of 3 available, so I'm going to go ahead and click on Place Hold Request, select my pickup library, and submit the request. So I have a hold on that book automatically. For now, I'm going to go back to the library homepage and point out a couple other ways you can get book recommendations. One of them is by going to the bottom of our home page, and we have this book river here of recommended reads. You can just look through the bit that is scrolling by, or you can search for a specific genre or recent books, or use any of these search tools. I'm going to head to Read, Listen, and Watch. I'm going to go under Read and find Book Suggestions. And here we have a ton of different ways that you can get recommended reads for you. The first one I'm going to point out is the Next Reads newsletter. So I'm going to click on that. And it brings me to a series of newsletters that you can subscribe to that gives you different book recommendations based on different criteria. So we have different award winners, different genres, and you can go ahead and click on one, and then you'll enter in your subscriber information, and you'll automatically get an email when a new one is posted. I can also click on a specific one right now and view the latest issue, so you can see what kind of information you'd be getting. We see this last one was posted in April, and it says that all of the books listed you can find on one of our digital platforms. I can scroll through and see all the different books that this newsletter would recommend. So that's one way to get some recommendations. Another way, we can go straight to the Novelist Plus website. This is that database that we talked about looking through our catalog. So I can click on Novelist Plus, and it'll bring me to the website. And there are a ton of different recommended reads, again, based on different criteria. So I can see this list on the left side of all the different ways I can narrow it down. And again, there's more in the middle of the page here. I can browse different genres, see different award winners, or I can search for something specific in the search bar. We could spend probably an hour giving a tutorial on all the different ways you can search for recommended reads on Novelist, but if you are interested in that, definitely check it out. It's a great resource. For now, I'm going to go back to the book suggestions page on our website. And the last thing I'm going to point out is our brand new recommended reads form, PS from Calvert Library. And so with this form, you can enter in your information and get personalized suggestions for you from a librarian. So first you'll enter in your contact information. Then you can select the format type you like to read in, whether that's a physical book, an audiobook, etc. You can enter in specific genres you like, the reading level you're looking for, and then put in information about books you read and liked, books you read and didn't like, and why, and how many books you would like to be suggested to you. We also have librarian recommendations on our social media page. So here on one of our pages, our Facebook page, is one of the recent librarian recommended titles for you. We give a little bit of a summary and why that librarian liked that specific book. So I hope that could be beneficial as well. I hope I gave you some resources you can use the next time you think, what should I read next? Thank you for tuning in today. Keep an eye on Calvert Library's social media for other can-do digital and how-to videos.
Thanks, Jessie. Yeah, librarians love helping people find their next book. It's one of our favorite ways to connect with customers. The other thing that we love to do is programs. And you may be familiar with a program that used to take place at the Twin Beaches Library with one of our librarians, McNevin Hayes. McNevin did a great program about manga art, which is kind of graphic style of drawing. Well, he's moved out of the area, but he couldn't get too far away. He's done a little video for us. McNevin, besides being an ex-librarian, is also a very talented artist, teacher, and a published illustrator. So let's take a look, learn a little manga art.
Hi friends, McNevin Hayes here, artist, illustrator, and former Calvert librarian, and I am demoing drawing for you today, and we are going to build some characters. And character construction in drawing for comics uses, you want to build your characters by using basic shapes. And there are certain basic shapes that are very useful to you. Of course, there's the sphere, and there is the egg. There's the bean. The bean is your friend. The bean is a very useful shape. And so is the pear. Pear, sort of a smaller and then a larger shape. The bean is essentially a bent oval. Tubes are always good. So you can use these shapes to create characters, and by like the different shapes you use working together will have a formula to them that makes that character. If that makes sense, I hope that isn't a totally opaque thing to say. So let's actually assemble a character. Why don't we let's use a, let's do a nice chibi, because chibis have baby proportions. And the first part of that is a head that is very big to the body, and that's the essential baby proportion. We're wired to see it as cute. We're hardwired to, so that we don't leave our babies in the grocery store because they're such nuisances. So let's do, all right, so this line I did down the middle of this is for the center of the face. And notice that I'm drawing pretty lightly. By drawing lightly, I can build on top of what I've done so far. And here, we'll start there. So that's a little bit of a pear for the head, right? There's a sphere in here, another sphere attached to it that's a little bit bigger. And then, proportionally to the body, let's make it like half. So we're going to have the body be another half here. And we'll do that pear-shaped. We'll give it legs, and the legs, hips are here and here. And feet. Let's stand the feet. Arms and hands. And let's give him a big spiky hair. I don't know, is he cute? He's not that cute, is he? He's kind of ugly. He's kind of miserable looking, poor guy. So, I suppose we should put some clothes on him. Let's give him jeans. There. Now he's dressed. All right, so I'm going to go in and make some of the lines darker. We'll finish out the mouth some, give him eyes. So I'm going through and darkening my lines. And I hope you can see okay with this setup. my hand gets a little bit in the way, so I'm trying to hold the pencil back a little bit so that you can see the tip and see the lines going on. Do some reflective highlights in the eyes. His hair is kind of like a flower here, isn't it? Let's break that up some more. I don't know if that's an improvement or not. I'm not sure it is. All right, so what I'm demoing here is the way I'm using shapes to build the character, right? So I started with the ball for the top part of the head, extended that into a pear, added some features, put in an eye line here, put in the center of the face line there, made another pear shape for the body. This is what we call a 3/4 view. It's not dead on, it's not to the side, which would be a profile. It's 3/4. So with the 3/4 view, when the head here turns, this center line for the face turns with that, okay? So there's that. He seems to be looking at something. Let's figure out what he's looking at and draw that too. Maybe he's looking at an animal. Let's do a dog. So let's do a little scoop kind of, let's do a scoop bean shape here, a little bit of neck. Let's do another bean shape. I think this is a dog. I'm not sure yet because I haven't gotten done drawing it, so I can't know for sure. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a kidney shape for the back leg. See this? There's a kidney shape, and there's the rest of the foot coming down. Okay, let's give him a big nose. Let's give him a big eye. Let's give him an open mouth with the tongue hanging out. How's that? So again, basic shapes. A boy and his dog. Let's give him a tail. So now I'm going back in and darkening. Now, because I drew lightly, see if I had done that dark at the outset, I would have, to adjust the lines, like you see how there's different lines here, because I did it light, I actually don't even have to erase. I can just go in and darken the parts I want to keep. But if I had done it dark, I would have had to erase and start over, and I would have been starting over with all sorts of dark lines there and kind of torn up paper and things that would make it like things I would have to fight to continue with the drawing. So I heartily recommend that you train yourself to do your first pass at drawing with a light hand, with a nice light touch. And I'm putting in a couple of little background lines and a little bit underneath so they're not just floating in space. And you can do that even really simply. Like you put in one line or something back there and all of a sudden they're somewhere and not just floating in nowhere. So that's a first little demo for you today. And I would like you to try it now. Like take some shapes, start building, and create something with that. Thank you.
you love manga or art and want to learn more, head over to lynda.com on the library website, that's calvertlibrary.info, and check out a whole 9-class learning path called Design a Comic Book. It does everything from layout to lettering to software you'd need, everything you want to know to design your own comic book.
You know, that is actually an activity in our summer reading program this year. So there's a badge that's called Tell Your Story. And one of the things that you can do to earn that badge is write your story as a graphic novel. So if you haven't signed up yet, don't forget, right down here on the bottom of the screen is a link to our Beanstack webpage where you can sign up or sign in and register for this year's summer program.
Absolutely. And it's so easy to sign up and register. Like we said, we already walked through it, but if you need another reminder, we have librarians standing by to take your call, or you can talk to us in the chat and we can try to help you out.
Absolutely. And, don't forget to check out all of our digital materials. We talked a little bit about them, but we have so many ways that you can check out books, even if you can't come and see us and pick up things from the library. We have RB Digital, we have Overdrive, we have Hoopla. Hoopla actually has lots of graphic novels. We were just talking about the graphic novels. Hoopla has lots of graphic novels that you can look at for inspiration for telling your story. And we have a whole new thing that we just started this summer, a way to sample books before you check them out. So you might know you're only allowed to check out a certain number of books per month or at one time, depending on which service you're using. So maybe you want to check them out before you check them out. We have a new thing that's called Book Bites, right, Amelia?
Yeah, that's right. Book Bites is our brand new library podcast where librarians read the first chapters of new, popular, or award-winning titles so that you can try them out before you check them out. It's a great way to explore audiobooks and podcasts if you haven't already. Really, really easy to find too.
Absolutely. And don't forget, we're counting all of the reading that we're doing this summer, not just reading novels. So anything that you're reading, so including what you're listening to. So if you go on and listen to a chapter of a book, you can count that time for your Beanstack and earn more tickets.
That's right, absolutely. And I think Meg and Tanya are here to tell us a little bit more about Book Bites and show us how it works.
I'm Meg. I'm Tanya. And we're here today to talk to you about Book Bites. Book Bites is a way to sample award-winning and fresh middle grade and teen reads before you check them out.
With each stream, you get the first chapter read aloud, content warnings, a summary, and where you can find the books should you wish to check them out later.
So Tanya, where can I find Book Bites and Book Bites Teen?
Great question. Every Wednesday, new episodes can be found on Google Podcast, Spotify,
Apple Podcast?
Yes, and your Calvert Library website.
Woohoo! So, Frankly in Love and
Lemony Snicket's When Did You See Her Last?
are two of the books that have already been produced and are out there for you to take a look at. So check out Book Bites.
But don't actually bite the book.
Yeah, don't bite the book.
Thanks, Meg and Tanya. The great thing about podcasts and audiobooks is that you can take them with you wherever you go. They're great in the car, in the waiting room, even on a walk.
That's so true. I'm so glad we live in such a beautiful place, where it's so nice, so many places to take walks and take a stroll around. One of my favorite places to take a walk is Amory Solomons Island. They have so much beautiful artwork that really melds art and nature. I know they have a beautiful gallery with shows that rotate and also a lot of classes, I think. So lots of activities for the whole family.
Yeah, that's right. We're very lucky to have a family membership to Anne-Marie Gardens available as one of our prizes this summer.
That's great news. I'm going to put my tickets in that basket for sure.
So you can also go to Anne Marie Gardens and work on your art badge, which is one of our summer activity badges this year. For the art badge, you can do all kinds of things. You could recreate a famous painting. You could create your own self-portrait. You could make a diorama or design your own bookmark. There's so many different things, and you're sure to find inspiration in the garden or anywhere else that you decide to go.
Yeah, that's great. So some of the folks from Anne Marie Gardens were kind enough to make us a video. They're going to teach us a little bit about bluebirds and then take us through a fun craft that kind of reminds us to be really nice to our little winged friends.
Hi, I'm Hester Birch. I'm the staff naturalist here at Anne Marie Garden. I want to tell you about bluebirds. Did you know that bluebirds are cavity nesters? That means they are looking for a hole in a tree, like a woodpecker hole, to make their nest. If they can't find a woodpecker hole, these bluebird boxes are a perfect alternative. Did you know it's the male bluebird's job to find the perfect nest site? It's also his job to convince the female that it's the perfect nest site. If she likes it, then it's her job to build the nest. Once she builds the nest, she's going to make it just right. She'll start laying eggs. She will lay eggs in the nest, one a day, until she has the desired amount of eggs, which can be 3 to 7, but usually it's 4 to 5 light blue eggs. The amount of eggs in her clutch will depend on many factors, including the availability of insects in the surrounding area, as well as the size of the nest cavity. She then incubates the eggs for 2 weeks. Her helpful mate will bring her food during this time. After the eggs hatch, both the male and the female will feed the young insects and spiders. It's important to note that our native insects predominantly rely on our native plants for their food, and without insects, we cannot have bluebirds, and many other kinds of birds for that matter. In 15 to 20 days, the young birds will have grown in their feathers and are ready to leave the nest. The male will continue to feed these newly fledged birds for a while during this time of transition. Meanwhile, the female will begin the process again. Why do bluebirds need our help? Well, by the early 1970s, scientists noticed that the bluebird population was significantly reduced due in large part to the loss of nesting sites. They had to deal with competition by 2 introduced species, the starling and the house sparrow. We actually have 7 nest boxes here at Anne Marie Garden, and you can come visit us and look for them all. So if you love bluebirds and you want to help them out, put out some bluebird boxes.
Hi everyone! Now that Hester has told you all about bluebirds, let's make a craft at home using common household objects. This is what we'll be making. You learned that bluebirds were cavity nesters, so we're going to make a tree with a natural cavity and maybe a spot for them to sit above. What you'll need to make this craft is 1 cardboard tube, 1 egg carton, 1 paper plate. If you don't have a paper plate, that's okay. A piece of paper will work too. And then something to add color. You can use crayons, markers, colored pencils, or paint. So grab all those items, follow these instructions, and make your own little bluebird craft. Have fun!
Wow, that was great. Those little birds are so cute. I love seeing the nest, so the eggs in the nest, and the little baby birds are so cute. You know, we actually have another birding event. I'm working on a team with some programs for teens and tweens, and we have a birder who's going to come and do a program with us on Zoom about identifying birds in your backyard. So be sure you check out the virtual branch if you're interested in birding. Check out our virtual branch calendar and get registered for that event.
Yes, definitely do. Like I said, I think that it is so great that we live in such a beautiful place. And another wonderful thing about Calvert County is there's lots of places to learn right in your backyard. Another one of my favorites is the Jefferson Patterson Park and Museum.
You know, I just went on a field trip there not too long ago with my son, actually. Some of the chest packs trips go out of the Jefferson Patterson Park. We went out on a kayak. Kayaks and canoes down in the river, and they were testing the water. So it's a really, really cool project, and you know, such an interesting place. They do a lot of archaeological work there, and teaching and learning at the same time. It's a great spot if you've never been.
A little bit. Don't they have something called the Mac Lab there as well?
Yeah, they do. It's the Maryland Archaeological Conservation Lab. It's actually the state archaeology lab for Maryland. So artifacts are sent there from all over the state and preserved because they have one of the largest collections, the largest ways to preserve, but also places to hold all of those things. And recently, one of our librarian friends actually found a really cool point, an arrowhead, on the beach near her house. And she actually had somebody, Alice Merkel, who's one of the archaeologists there, to help her date it and find out some more about it. And they've made a little video about it. Let's check it out.
Hi, this is Meg from Calvert Library. I just made an interesting find. I usually come down on this beach a couple times a week to look for shark's teeth, and I found a really interesting item. I think this is a point, an artifact, and I'm curious as to where it came from and how old it is. I think the best way to find out more about this particular item is to contact Jefferson Patterson, their Mac Labs, and see if they can tell me anything more. I'll let you know what I find out.
I'm gonna need to email Jefferson Patterson's Mac Labs some photographs of the points so that they can help me identify what they are and how old they are. They need to show up on a nice surface. So I've put down a placemat that is relatively light so that it'll show off all of the details of the points. And I'm also going to need some natural light to make sure that they're highlighted correctly. To show scale, I'm going to use this measuring tape and lay it down between my points. I have the one that I found today, and I have another one that I found a few months ago. So I'm going to put them down, and I'm going to lay down the measuring tape right in the center of them. And then I'm going to go ahead and line them up, take a picture, and then I'll flip them over so that you can see both the fronts and the backs of the points. Make sure the measuring tape is in place, and take another shot. And I'll be able to email the Mac Labs with those pictures so they'll be able to tell me more about what I found.
Everyone, I'm Alice Merkel. I'm a collections assistant here at the Maryland Archaeological Conservation Laboratory at Jefferson Patterson Park and Museum. And we just got an email from Meg about some points that she found down at Cove Point Beach. Now here at the Mac Lab, we are at the State Museum of Archaeology, which means that we are everything from archaeological research, conservation, to curation of all archaeological, both field and underwater finds here in Maryland, excavated by state and federal agencies. So here we do a mix of outreach events, we do host independent researchers, we loan collections out to museums all throughout Maryland so that people can interact with artifacts. And a big part of that are the members of the public coming to us with finds from the beach or from a plowed field, stuff like that, artifacts like that, we call surface finds. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So like Meg's points, artifacts found on a plowed field or along a beach are surface finds. Now surface finds are found without digging, which means that the original location has been disturbed. They've either been plowed up or it's been disturbed and pulled out of the ground by a natural or unnatural force, which means that that artifact, we can't really tell where it originates to. It loses its context. Now context is the story of the artifact. Who made it, where it's originally from, if it was repurposed or reused as a different kind of tool. And without that context, there's only so much you can really tell about an artifact. And that's why when archaeologists dig, we dig in layers. Each layer tells us the story of who was on your site and what activities they did there. If they were hunting, cooking, living there, if they were farming, all those activities the soil can tell us. Now each layer represents a different time period, and with each layer, the deeper you go in the ground, the older the sites get. So things on the very surface of the site have either been disturbed or they're newer, more modern. Things like from today, like plastic or bottle caps, all that good stuff.
Each layer of the site makes up the stratigraphy of the site. As we dig, we record changes in the layers, or changes in the site's stratigraphy, which gives context to each layer and the artifacts in them.
So what do you do when you find something? Meg did a great job. She went to our website, which is jeffpat, JEFPAT, at maryland.gov, and right there you'll see a link for the Diagnostic Artifacts of Maryland page. If you go to that page, it has over 40 types of different categories of points, let alone other ceramics, glassware, all sorts of cool stuff. At the bottom of that page, you'll see, to learn more, patricia.sanford@maryland.gov, which is the email. We do recommend that you email us photos. As archaeologists, we can tell a lot from a photo. The photo's well lit, we have some sense of scale, a ruler or a penny, just to give us an idea of how big the artifact is, along with some sense of location of where you found it. Meg did a great job. She sent us these photos, which are well lit, have the sense of scale, in this case, ruler end. And she also gave us the front and back of the points, which really shows us any cool features we need to know about in order to give you an idea of what exactly you found. So once we have a really clear idea of what those artifacts that you found look like, then we can go about IDing an artifact. Now here at the Mac Lab, we have a great collection called the Type Collection. Now these are the best of artifacts, different types of artifacts from all sorts of categories that we can compare your artifact with to look for certain diagnostic characteristics. Most people call stone tools that they find along the beach or in a plowed field, like these artifacts, arrowheads, but a lot of them turn out to be points.
Larger points like these with large stems were probably used as knives, blades, or spears, as they were too large to be mounted on an arrow shaft to be used as an arrow.
Points changed a lot through time, and some points would start off as one type and then be reshaped into another style. So in some cases, we may never know what the original form of the points were by the time we get to see them. Now looking at points, we look for size, shape, and what the artifact is made out of, the material of it, to figure out what kind of points we should compare it to. In terms of shape, first we look at the base of the point to see if it has a stem. Now, we look at this point first because the base changes the least through the lifespan of the point. Are there notches near the base? Is the artifact long and skinny or smaller and wider? Next, we look at the material. Sometimes some point types tend to be made of just one or two materials, like quartz or rhyolite, and sometimes what the point is made out of doesn't even really matter. Now let's take a look at Meg's points. Now these points are a bit smaller. One is fairly equilateral across, which is similar to this type, which is a Potomac point. The other is a little water-worn, so some information might be lost as it was tumbling along the beach. The other possibility of these points is that they're quite small for this type, but they might be Levana points. They're not the classic shape, but they do have some similarities. The only certain thing we can say about these points is that at this stage they are triangular points. So if you find something cool, make sure to go to our website and check out the Diagnostic Artifacts in Maryland page. There are all sorts of artifacts there, and we kind of walk you through how to identify what you found. The other cool site that we have is called Maryland Unearthed. and that is known archaeological sites that have been excavated in different stages all over Maryland, so you might find something really cool near you. Let's go write an email to Meg telling her about what cool points she found. So in our email to Meg, we're going to let her know that these points are late woodland points. The people of Maryland of the late woodland period were hunters and gatherers and lived in small villages. They used stone tools like points and arrowheads for hunting game like deer, and smaller animals like possums, rabbits, and squirrels were caught with traps. Fish and oysters were also important parts of their diet, which we know thanks to archaeology. The people of the late woodland period also practiced agriculture and grew corn, squash, and beans, just some of the vegetables we are growing down at our reconstructed Indian village here at Jefferson Patterson Park Museum. The village is currently open to the public and accessible by the paved path right across from the main parking lot at the end of the park entrance road. Once we reopen, we would love to invite the public and our friends at Calvert Library to come to our weekly free tours to see artifacts face to face. Remember, it's not what you find, but what you can find out.
Huh, the late woodland period. It says here that the late woodland period is from between 500 and 1000 CE. That means that my artifact is probably more than 1,000 years old. That's cool. I wonder what else I'll find.
That is such an interesting topic. We are so lucky to be in an area that has so many Native American and colonial archaeological sites.
If you have an interest in history or archaeology, be sure to check out Canopy on Calvert Library's website at calvertlibrary.info. Canopy offers free access to hours and hours worth of great courses on history and archaeology, science, philosophy, and it also has a streaming video service that offers the best in documentaries and foreign films, as well as 50 classic films in the Criterion Collection.
You know, I love to watch documentaries. I love learning about people's lives, and I love to read biographies. That's a great kind of book to explore. And you know, our theme this year is actually tell your story. That's the theme for summer reading this year. And what better way than to read a biography? And you know, we have some library recommendations that we've been putting out on our social media as well. And right here, Lisa is going to tell us a little bit about a couple biographies that she recommends for you.
Hi, this is Lisa from Calvert Library. I've been doing a lot of reading and listening to books during this time, and I have two nonfiction recommendations for you. They're very different books, but I think you're going to like both of them. So the first book I'm going to talk about is called 5 Presidents by Clint Hill. And Clint Hill was a Secret Service agent for 16 years. And I know some Secret Service families, and I have a great deal of respect for them and all they do. But this is a little more detailed look into their lives and what they do. Boy, do they make huge sacrifices, and their families really make some huge sacrifices. They miss a lot of birthdays and anniversaries and parties, and certainly holidays, while they are protecting our president and vice president and families. But this gave great insight into 5 very different presidents, from Eisenhower to Kennedy to Johnson to Nixon to Ford, and just talked about the personalities and the kindness towards the agents, their personal attachments, just a little bit of everything. It was really good. The description of events that occurred in our history during his 16-year career is just amazing. It makes me imagine all of the information that he's unable to share because of national security and confidentiality and clearance things. But what really stood out was the story of President Kennedy's assassination and his involvement. And it's just, I cannot imagine being so intimately and personally involved in this as he was. And his honesty and his heartbreak, it's just heartbreaking. But it really makes me want to read his other 2 books, Mrs. Kennedy and Me and 5 Days in November. But I highly recommend this. So my second book is a little bit different, and it is called Open by Andre Agassi. So I am a sports junkie. I love sports. So if you love sports, and certainly if you love tennis, you are going to love this book. I definitely always had a soft spot for Andre, even during his rebellious years when he was younger, but especially even more so kind of during his comeback when he was a little bit older. He had quite a very difficult childhood. He and his father built a machine, which they nicknamed the Dragon, and that was the machine that shot the balls out to Andre while he was playing. He had to hit 1,000 balls a day, so needless to say, he did not have a wonderful childhood. But I always saw the sensitive side and how it impacted his life, and you could just feel the pain and the struggle of that during this book and as I listened to it. And it was also interesting, and I guess ironic, how Steffi Graf, who he calls Stephanie, which is what she prefers to be called, appeared at different times in his life. But I'm so thankful they found each other. They just seem very happy, and what a nice, great match and couple they are together. And Andre will talk about one of his greatest accomplishments is building this charter school in Las Vegas. And it's amazing because he's a high school dropout. And so it's wonderful that here he created this high school and kids are graduating and going on to college. But I loved it. I really only wish that Andre read it to make it even better, but I think it was fantastic. So the good news is, as I mentioned earlier, both of these books right now are available on Libby, and so there's no wait list, you can get them. So happy reading, everybody, and happy listening.
Thank you, Lisa, so much for those recommendations. And remember, we post a lot of recommendations of all sorts of different genres. Our librarians like all sorts of different things and want to share them with you. So again, keep checking back on our social media for more of those recommendations.
One of the other great resources we have on our social media pages are activities for our elementary age students. In our series, It's Elementary, librarians share a book and an activity to try at home. Let's check it out.
Everyone, my name is Miss Julia with Calvert Library. Welcome to It's Elementary. So in this series, we are going to explore different topics by reading a story and then doing some fun activities together. Today, our topic is science, and the book we are reading is Mousetronaut. This book is written by astronaut Mark Kelly and illustrated by C.F. Payne. And I would like to thank the publisher, Simon & Schuster, for giving us permission to enjoy this book today. All right, well, let's see what happens in Mousetronaut.
The space shuttle is set for a launch, and the astronauts are doing their last-minute training to prepare for the mission. NASA is sending along some special guests for this flight, and they're training too. One mouse is smaller than all the rest. His name is Meteor. The other mice know he won't be chosen for this important mission. But someone has his eye on Meteor, and he's impressed with the little mouse's hard work. The shuttle commander announces that 6 mice will be selected for the flight. He picks 5 of the biggest, strongest mice. But for the 6th spot, to everyone's surprise, he chooses Meteor. All 6 are taken to their new home, a special cage called the Mouse Hotel. The other mice are nervous as the countdown begins, but not Meteor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. At first, the mice are pressed flat against their cages by the power of the launch. But then the pressure goes away. The other mice cling to their cage in terror. But not Meteor. He loves the feeling of weightlessness. Oh, how fun! So he's experiencing less gravity the further they're getting from Earth. Hey, little guy, the commander says. You're a natural, a real live mousetronaut. Meteor is taken from his cage and gets a tour of the shuttle. He can even see the Earth way off in the distance. The astronauts are all very busy during the 14-day flight. There are spacewalks to take and experiments to conduct. But what can Meteor do to help? Then, while answering email, one of the astronauts notices the key to the control panel stuck between the monitors. When he tries to get it out, it accidentally gets wedged farther down. This isn't good, says the commander. We need that key back. One astronaut tries to move the monitor. It doesn't budge. Another slips her fingers into the crack, but the key is stuck down too deep. One even tries pushing it out with a long piece of metal, but with no luck. No one can reach it. The astronauts are getting worried, but as they discuss the problem, a tiny figure has an idea. Being the smallest isn't a bad thing, Meteor says to himself. Maybe I can be useful on this flight. Meteor squeezes his way into the crack. The space is dark and cramped, but Meteor spots the key and tugs at it with all his might. Hey, look at what our tiny friend has done, the commander says. He's saved the mission. When the shuttle returns to Earth, Meteor is declared a hero. He's even given a brand new uniform and an official title, Mousetronaut. All the astronauts cheer and applaud, but Meteor is already thinking about his next big mission. Well, I hope you enjoyed our story today. And something that was mentioned in our story was gravity. So what is gravity? Well, gravity is actually what keeps us on Earth. So objects that are bigger and heavier have more gravity. Now, I have gravity, this ball has gravity, and the Earth has even more gravity because it's really big and really heavy. So the Earth's gravity is what pulls objects down and us down onto the Earth. And the force of gravity also is what keeps the planets in orbit around the sun. Now you might be wondering, well, how come astronauts can float in space? And the reason why is because they are further away from Earth, so they are further away from Earth's gravity. And gravity is what we are using to make art today. I'm so excited about this activity. Let me show you what materials you are going to need. The first one is a blank piece of paper, a tin tray or a rubber tub, some tape. I prefer blue painter's tape, but you can use whatever tape you have available at home. One or more bouncy balls or marbles, whatever you have available. I would say maybe about 1 to 4 of these. And lastly, the best part, paint. I have red and yellow. I also have blue and green. You can use whatever paint you would like. And that's everything. So go ahead and pause our video and collect your materials and come on back so that we can do some gravity painting together. Welcome back. So now that you have all of your materials collected, it's time to get started on our activity. So the first step is to take your white piece of paper and put some tape on one side, like you see pictured here. Once you have your tape on your paper, you're going to turn it tape side down and secure it into your tin tray or tub. Now that we have our paper secured in place, we're going to add our paint. So I've added a splotch of red, green, yellow, and blue. And I've also added my ball, so you can go ahead and put in your marbles or balls. I have mine started on yellow. Now it's time for the fun part. We are going to make our art. So the way we get started is we tilt our tin or tub around to make the ball or balls move through the paint. And so the reason why our ball rolls is because of gravity. So gravity is pulling it down towards the earth, especially because our ball has some weight to it. Keep mixing. I've got a rainbow started on my painting. Keep mixing until you feel like your masterpiece is complete. Here is my completed work of art. Your ball or your marbles might even look like a work of art. They're going to have all of that mixed up paint on them. Gently remove your paper from your tray or tub and let it sit out to dry. Well, I hope you had fun making some gravity painting with me. Here's my dried masterpiece. I love a fun, messy art project, so I had a good time. Thank you again for joining me for It's Elementary. Please keep an eye on Calvert Library's social media pages for more activities and fun story times. Bye!
So all of those It's Elementary clips are available on their own YouTube playlist. So if you're looking for some activities for the summer, we got you covered.
And while we should mention that even though we aren't doing any programs at the library this summer, we still have some incredible performers lined up to entertain and amaze. All summer long, we're going to be broadcasting our performances every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. and they start next week. Here's Jessie to tell us a little bit more.
Hi there! This is Jessie with Calvert Library, and I'm so excited to tell you a bit about our summer fun performances airing at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays this summer on Crowdcast. I'm excited about our lineup of performers, and I hope that you are too. Our first performance is on Tuesday, June 23rd, and it's a magic show with magician Brian Curry. You'll get a chance to learn some really neat close-up magic tricks to show your friends and family. Next, we'll meet 9 different species of reptiles in Reptile Wonders with Mr. Brian. I can't wait to meet all of those cool animals. The following week, we have a performance by Kofi Dennis, who will share with us the vibrant music of West Africa, where he is from, and we'll learn about different types of instruments that he'll be playing. We'll also watch some classic stories acted out by story performer Chris Facione as he juggles and mimes his way through his show. I'm also really excited to see Greg May's Circus Science Show, where he uses his background in circus performing to teach scientific principles. After that, we are joined by Bright Star Touring Theater for a performance of some of Aesop's fables. The following week, we'll get a special show by the Nanjamoy Creek Environmental Education Center, where we'll meet different kinds of owls. Our final performer of the summer on August 11th is Ariana Ross, who uses multilingual storytelling to teach us about different places in the world, as well as fairy tales and stories. I hope you join us this summer for some really unique performances by some really talented performers. Check out our virtual branch for these performances and much more.
Like we said, the performances are right around the corner. They're starting this coming Tuesday, the 23rd. And I hear tell that the first performer is a magician named Brian Curry. So I think that'll be a lot of fun.
It sounds like it'll be really cool. And remember, if you can't join us right at 10, don't worry. We know that's a little early for some folks. You can always tune in for the next 48 hours after the show airs to watch it replay. So if you can't be there Tuesday at 10, you've got 2 whole days to check it out.
Check that out. Yeah. So, we're talking about all these great performers we have coming up over the summer, and I'm so excited for them. But you might not know that we have a bunch of great performers right here on the Calvert Library staff.
It's very, very true. Our next performer as the assistant branch manager at our Fairview branch, you might also have seen her perform with her very talented quartet in our wildly popular holiday sing-along.
Yeah, so up next we have Emily Mudd. You might know her also from the Second Star Players. She just recently played Mary Poppins, which was a great performance. And up next we have her sharing an aria from the HMS Pinafore. So take it away, Emily.
Thanks, Emily. That was a beautiful performance. You know, I am so excited for all of the fun stuff we have going on this summer, from our performers to our amazing programming that we have, as well as just participating in Calvert Reads. I'm excited to get my minutes in. I have a book that I am ready to read. This is actually the first book in the series. It is called Amberlow by Laura Elena Donnelly, but the newest book came out really recently and I finally got my hands on it. So that's where all my minutes are coming from. What about you guys? What are you reading this summer?
So I'm really excited about a new title. It's called The Henna Artist, and it's by Alka Joshi. And it's a historical fiction, and it takes place in India. And I'm really excited about this one. I don't read too much historical fiction most of the time, but I really like reading stories from places that are new to me and foreign. So I'm excited for that one. And it's pretty long, so I think it'll give me a bunch of minutes, which is good.
That's going to help us. That's going to help us reach our goal. So good job.
Exactly. What about you, Sandy? What are you reading?
You know, so I'm doing some reading for me, but I'm also doing some reading for other people too, because this is one, we were just talking about the book bites earlier, remember? And book bites are one of the things that I'm recording too. And so this is a book bite that I'm going to be recording soon. It's called The Name of This Book is Secret, and it's the first book in a series by Synonymous Bosch. And I know it is so much fun. This is one of my favorite books. So if you have not read this one yet, I highly recommend it. It's super fun. And if you're not sure if you want to read it, give me a little time. I'm going to record it and we'll put it out on the podcast on Book Bites, and then you can check it out for yourself.
And you know, we are not the only one making our reading pledges for this summer. We have gotten a lot of wonderful photographs from some of our community friends. You might recognize some of them from the library, from school, and they have all pledged to read over the summer. So let's see what they are going to be reading.
and to see how many people are excited about the summer challenge. It's great that they're setting goals. It keeps you on track, it keeps you excited, and that's something I really encourage you to do. I know I'm going to set my own goal at the start of the summer, and challenge yourself, see how far you can get.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, I thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you've had a good time with us. We've had a lot of fun. Hope you learned a little something too. And make sure that you sign up for Calvert Reads. Remember that link right here at the bottom of the page, right? Go on and sign up. You get a ticket, as a matter of fact, just for signing up. So if you go on today and you sign up, you're going to get your first ticket and put it in your first bucket. So your first chance to win a prize. So don't forget.
That's right. So remember, you can sign up. If you're not watching us on Crowdcast, you don't have a link in front of you, you can go onto our website, calvertlibrary.info, and sign up there. It'll be right on the front page. You'll be able to sign up for our summer reading challenge. You can use the Beanstack app and find us on there. If you've got the app downloaded on your phone, you'll be able to search for Calvert Library and find us. Start right that way. Or if you need any other help, give us a call. Our number again is 410-535-0291, and we will be there to help you out. We can't wait for you to join us.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Miss Amelia. Thank you, Miss Annalise. And we hope to see you guys really, really soon. All right. Bye.